I'm Michael Sam. I'm a football player and I'm gay. My purpose and focus right now is playing football. I came out to my team this last August, and coming out to them, they rallied around me, they supported me.
Interesting comments about Michael Sam. Sam is the first openly gay man to be selected in the NFL draft. He was taken 249th by the St. Louis Rams. There are those who say they would not have drafted Sam, and Tony Dungy is among them. Dungy won a Super Bowl with the Indianapolis Colts in 2006. He talked to the Tampa Bay Tribune about Sam. Quote, "I wouldn't have taken him, not because I don't believe Michael Sam should have a chance to play, but I wouldn't want to deal with all of it. It's not going to be totally smooth. Things will happen." End quote. He didn't elaborate on exactly what that meant.
To be honest, I'm not the one you want to side with when it comes to picking sports. Despite the fact I covered the NFL for well over 20 years and knew the teams as well as they sometimes do themselves, I all too often picked with my heart and not my head. Hey, I was the guy who said the Miami Dolphins were going to roll over the San Francisco 49ers in the first Super Bowl where Dan Marino was a quarterback. And I also knew beyond the shadow of any doubt Marino would be in at least 3 or 4 more big games before the end of his career. So you get my drift. This one, though, this one I nailed. When Michael Sam was picked by the St. Louis Rams in the 7th and final round of the NFL draft this year, the 249th player selected, I spoke with several former sports colleagues, placed a friendly wager. The wager was that in the week NFL training camps were prepping to open for business in 2014, a former coach would make a statement about Sam. I predicted that statement, whoever it was, whomever made it, would light the controversial fire about the first openly gay player being selected in the draft. And that comment would center around why he would not have used a draft choice on Sam and why it would be a distraction. I was more certain of this happening than I was about that Marino Super Bowl. And truth be told, I had a hunch it was going to be someone just like Tony Dungy, an honorable, truthful, and humble man who has never been afraid to speak his mind, never concerned about how others viewed his opinions on certain matters. Of course, what we saw in the seconds after Dungy's statement hit the national sports talk show gabfests, where more often than not bovine excrement is the order of the day and any consideration for the facts in a story go right out the window with any announcer credibility, was backlash, anger, derision, criticism. And then again, most of that came from these same jockstrap mentalities and 24/7 network sycophants who thrive on jumping on things people say and then twisting them to fit their need for self-appreciation and, of course, ratings. Dungy is perhaps the most solid of the core guy you will ever meet. And I knew there was more to the story, which is why I personally waited to make a comment.
I don't think it was malicious. I think he was just saying he didn't want to deal with all the fallout that's going to come with drafting Michael Sam, which I think is completely understandable.
In a statement today, Dungy said in part he gave the interview weeks ago, just as an Oprah Winfrey reality show was going to chronicle Michael Sam's first season. I was not asked whether or not Michael Sam deserves an opportunity to play in the NFL. He absolutely does. I was not asked whether his sexual orientation should play a part in the evaluation process. It should not. I was not asked whether I would have a problem having Michael Sam on my team. I would not. I do not believe Michael's sexual orientation will be a distraction to his teammates or his organization. I do, however, believe that the media attention that comes with it will be a distraction. Unfortunately, we are all seeing this play out now, and I feel badly that my remarks played a role in the distraction.
He's a religious man. He doesn't believe in same-sex marriage. In 2007, he spoke out publicly in favor of an amendment to the Indiana state constitution that would define marriage as between a man and a woman. That is seen by many as the damning element of what they now call his hypocrisy. Whether you agree or disagree with Dungy's comments is your personal stance. Those who know the NFL may not say it publicly, but privately they'll tell you Dungy's point dead on in a sports sense. They'll tell you that Sam was at the time of the draft a marginal player who many teams would not have used a draft choice on, were he straight, gay, blue, green, or armed with a magical sixth sense about the game. And coaches hate distractions, the kind they believe will cost them titles and maybe even their jobs. Michael Sam deserves a chance to show what he can do. Tony Dungy also deserves the same right given to everyone, that of expressing their personal opinion and revealing who they are and what they believe in. Interesting how a certain segment of society is always pressing for everybody to be able to speak their mind freely, to reveal who they really are, and not be damned for saying it. Yet when the message isn't what they want to hear, they are first to hammer away and deem as evil those who are doing exactly that, but it just doesn't fit their idea of what is right and what is allowed. Talk about hypocrisy, and that is telling it like it is.